I don't know about you, but if you've had the death of a dream like I have, there are probably certain environments that trigger you to remember your dream. And it's in those moments that if we have not walked the path and chosen forgiveness, that all hell breaks loose. For me, this may sound foolish, but I write about it in the book, but tour buses are my triggering moment. Whenever I'm driving around anywhere and I see a tour bus, I always say, there's a tour bus. It drives my wife crazy, but I almost wreck the car sometimes by trying to see the tour buses, because part of my old dream, I always wanted to freaking travel in a tour bus. I still never done it. Like I say in the book, God and I have a little bit of a side deal. I think maybe someday it's going to come around. Woven, not wasted, God. It's in the book. Come on, let's get a tour bus in the mix. But when I see them, and I'm better now than I was 10, 15 years ago, but I would see tour buses and I'd be like, man, that's how my life was supposed to be. When I would remember my dreams as I would be triggered by these tour buses, I'd get angry, I'd get mad, I'd get full of resentment. And it led to unhealthy things, and it wasn't leading to a redemption of purpose. And I don't know what it is for you. It might be something more grand than a tour bus, but you had a dream and it died somehow. Somebody was involved in that. Maybe you or maybe it was them. Maybe it was the both of you. But you see something and you remember your dream. I can remember talking to some young ladies at one of the churches that I've led that talk about their dream is always to be a mom. And they talk about hearing birth announcements, or people talking, celebrating getting pregnant, or Mother's Day, major triggering moment where they remember their dreams. For you, maybe it's a loved one that's passed, and it's going by that park where you guys used to hang out, or by the football field, or by your grandma's house. Or for you, if it's a job thing, maybe it's seeing a commercial from that job, or maybe you've always dreamed of going to college, and when you walk by the campus, or you see, I don't know. My guess is if you could talk through the podcast to me, which I would love for you to, you can always reach out to me, email me, Daron@blackbirdmission.com. Would love to hear what are some of your triggering moments, but you have them. You get triggered, you remember your dream, and then it's like, what do I do now? And if you haven't walked the process of forgiveness, that's going to be the first place to start. One of the things I talk about in the book, and what I had to experience in my own life, is I had to come to a place, and pretty early on, where I forgave, in the initial kind of death of my dream, I forgave the person in the situation that was involved in that. And actually, the first time I forgave him was pretty immediate, like within the first few months, because I realized that holding on to bitterness was not going to serve me or anyone else well. But the reality is, I had to remind myself for probably the next decade, I still forgive them, right? I forgave you, forgiven. There we go. There's the certificate of forgiveness. I have forgiven you. I release you from the debt you owe me. I see a tour bus. Wait, I don't. I want to punch them in the face. Nope, I still forgive them. And here's the reality. You may have to remind yourself that you still forgive yourself, or you still forgive them hundreds and hundreds of times. That doesn't mean that you don't mean it every single time. It means you're human, and it means you have emotions, and it means you're in process of healing. The problem is when you get triggered by something and you remember your dreams and you don't follow through to say, I still forgive him.